Good evening, I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to Exploring with Rick Dancer, a new show we're doing. This night we're going to take you up to Steamboat Inn. We're going to show you the inn. My wife and I got to stay there a few weeks ago. Show you the inn, a special night of dinners that they have there where they bring in guest chefs and they pair them with beer and or wine. Our night was beer. Also we're going to show you some really neat hikes. My wife and I love to run and trail run, and there's a trail system up there on the North Umpqua River that is absolutely phenomenal. And so we're going to show you some of that throughout the show, some waterfalls, and then a little later we're going to introduce you to one of the original Steamboat Inn men and his wife, Frank and Jeannie Moore. I'm not dead. That sounds like something interesting. Well, good evening. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to Exploring the Backstories, and we're taking you to the backstories tonight. We're at the Steamboat Inn, which is about 40 miles east of Roseburg. Melinda and Travis notified us the other day, Kathy and me, and said, you guys should come stay here and do a story on our dinners that we have. So you guys have to see this place. It is so great, and this is the building. Well, we'll talk more to them about how this works. Melinda, come around this side over here. So you guys, these are fellow Eugenians, former Eugenians, Travis and Melinda Woodward. So how did you end up with the Steamboat Inn?
I decided we wanted to do our own thing, and had some financing to help us out do that from my dad, and made it happen.
So this was for sale for quite a while.
About 7 years.
And so you guys kind of looked at this and said, okay, we could do something with this.
Yeah, absolutely. We looked at several places between the McKenzie River and here, and this one was just the most well-kept and beautiful and had the history that we loved.
And you're a fisherman.
Yes.
So this is kind of, I mean, there is no place, you read the books, Frank Moore.
Oh, yeah.
The Ernest and Hemingway used to come here. Yeah. Jane Wyatt used to come here. I mean, this is the Hollywood, Tom McCall, former Governor Bob Straub. I mean, everybody came to the Steamboat Inn.
Yeah, heart and soul of Oregon steelhead fly fishing for sure. It's a beautiful spot, beautiful spot.
So this wasn't always on this side of the river, though?
No, it started out on the other side.
Yeah, it was in North Umpqua Lodge originally, when Clarence Gordon started it in the 30s. And it was basically a tent camp and became log cabins. We still have a number of the original pieces from that lodge.
Tell me about this. What is this?
So this was Clarence Gordon's fly tying cabinet, I think originally. It's where he kept most of his supplies for fly tying.
And he's the original owner?
Yes, he was the original owner of the North Umpqua Lodge when it was on the other side of the river. And then they moved it over here once the highway was put in.
It moved over here in the 50s, became a store, and became the Steamboat Inn officially in 1957.
So you guys have how many cabins? And kind of tell people because you guys, we're going to show you some video of this, but we're staying in one of the really nice river suites, and it's absolutely beautiful, tub and fireplace. Everybody's got fireplace. There's fireplaces and all kinds of stuff.
We have 18 rooms. There are 8 Riverview cabins. There's 2 suites. There are 5 hideaway cottages up Steamboat Creek that sleep 4, and we have 3 3-bedroom homes on the other side of the river.
God, that is a ton.
It's a ton.
It's a lot.
It's like, how do you, go ahead.
We can sleep 58 people.
Wow.
I think that's how many toilets we have.
Yeah.
And you know from fixing and cleaning them.
Yeah, Jim Van Loan let me know that right off the bat.
Right when you were doing it.
Yeah.
So you also have a restaurant, and talk about that a little bit.
The restaurant is open to the public. We serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then in the evenings, many nights, we do special pairing dinners where we bring in guest chefs, different vineyards. Tonight we're doing a beer dinner, and sometimes we do whiskey.
So you guys also, though, have service. I mean, you have regular restaurant services. People come here for breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Yep.
And our head chef does fine dining as well. And he's had experience in a number of the major restaurants up in Portland. But he started cooking here when he was 16, went to Portland, got the experience, and now he's back as our head chef.
So what has this been like? So you bought this in 2017, and we were up here, Kathy and I were up here on a bike ride, the bike ride from hell, actually. And we ended up here with lunch and did a little blurb with you guys, put it on, and this is working out.
Yeah, it's been a ride. It's been fun. It's
There were forest fires our first summer. We called it our trial by fire.
yeah.
But if we can make it through that, we can make it through anything. And
But business is
happy.
good. You're really
Yeah.
booking up.
Business is good. Yeah, we could use some
What-
employees, I think.
What is it about this place? I mean, what is the magic?
Just the history and just the ambience and the beauty. The beauty of this river is just amazing compared to anything else in Oregon. It's hard to compare it to anything else.
And when you sit here in these rooms, the thing I love, no Wi-Fi in the rooms. There's Wi-Fi in the lodge, but no Wi-Fi in the rooms, no phone service.
Come to Steamboat to disconnect.
I think that's a real sales point, don't you?
Yeah, it's disconnect to reconnect.
It's hard for a lot of people, but we've had some
first.
children breakdowns.
Yeah,
Actually, we've had some adult breakdowns as well, but
But you can come to the lodge if you really need to use your Wi-Fi. But the whole trick is kind of to stay away from it, isn't
Yes.
it?
yeah. Enjoy your time here. Enjoy what's out there because the place is so beautiful and there's so much to do up here in the hills. Hikes, waterfalls, bike riding, horseback riding, kayaking, and then fishing, of course.
And you
But,
have swimming holes, and you guys also have a hot springs nearby.
There is, yeah. Tokati Hot Springs is just upriver, about half an hour.
And you guys are only like an hour from Crater Lake, and about
just over.
a little bit like how far from Diamond Lake?
Hour from Diamond, about hour and 20, hour and a half from Crater.
39, 40 minutes from Roseburg.
Yep.
And but you are, when you get out here, you are by yourself and kind of alone.
Yeah, you're in the middle of the national forest. There's not a lot out here.
So what do you want to do in the future? What's the future look like for the Steamboat Inn?
Oh man, that's a good question. We're gonna have some remodeling. We bought the place because we love it. We love the way it is, and we love the history of it. And so we want to upgrade what we can without taking out the history of the entire place and keep it as it is as much as possible.
So why is history important in a place like this?
It's just what makes it what it is. Absolutely. I mean,
Sets us apart from everyone else. We're not just some cracker box hotel where you could stay anywhere. This place is its own unique living thing.
like I said, it's definitely the heart and soul of Oregon fly fishing. It's for steelhead. The North Umpqua Trail is just over 70 miles long. Starts at a high lake up by the Pacific Crest Trail called Maydew, I believe I said that right. And then it follows the North Umpqua out of Maydew, which is where the North Umpqua starts, down to Lamola Lake, or reservoir. And then from Lamola Reservoir, you follow the river down and to Tokati. And then once you get to Tokati Reservoir, you hit the highway, and then you follow it all the way down the highway till probably 15 miles downriver from us.
Well, then, and the nice thing about it is the maps they have, you can do segments of it.
Yeah, there's lots of 5 mile to 10 mile segments that you can just do.
And there's a waterfall up there that...
Lots of waterfalls. There's several waterfalls to come up here and hike into, and they're only about a half mile to a mile in and then back out. So they're usually 1 mile to 2 mile hikes in and out, which isn't too bad.
So tell me about your restaurant. When you open, when are people, what do you serve, who's working here, that kind of thing?
Our restaurant is open 7 days a week, Mother's Day weekend through the end of October. And then we're weekends only until December. December is all about private parties.
And then people who are staying here, though, will be...
Oh, whenever you are staying here, we make sure you're fed.
And you do know how to feed people.
Yes.
This is, after all, is the Umpqua River, right? Mm-hmm. So your favorite thing about this place?
Getting to live here. It's such a privilege to be here every day and experience this.
And when you have guests come in, you really treat them
Well, yes. It's all about hospitality. And becoming to Steamboat is joining our family.
really. Mm-hmm. And these dinners, why? This is something they've been doing for a long time?
The previous owners did it for 20 years. Wow. And we are continuing the tradition, but adding the fall series with beer or spirits.
Credibility is huge. I mean, you put the facts together and you tell the story, the complete picture, then that builds your credibility. Trust is key, because if they don't trust what it is that you're doing every single week, then they're not going to subscribe to the paper. They're not going to buy the paper. They're going to look for other sources to find the news that they want.
Every month, Ranchito Grill teams up with Rick Dancer TV to give away 2 free dinners to some lucky winner. All you got to do is go into Ranchito Grill, have dinner, fill out your name, your phone number. We'll draw once a month and call you and let you know right here on the show if you are the winner.
What I will tell you, about our food is that we prepare everything from scratch. So we make sure we hire people that have the passion for making food. That's one of the ingredients. The other one, we make sure that our recipes, they use the ingredients that we tell them to use. And before we put it into the market, we make sure we test, try it. What I love about this business is the people. I'm a people person, so I love to interact with people.
I'm Rick Dancer and Kathy Dancer, and this is Exploring the Backstories, and we're going to take you on this cool trail system that they have on the North Umpqua. 72 miles of trails from close to town all the way up to one of the lakes up here. There's a series of falls. They have this really cool map. So they've broken it up into little sections for you.
So this is the whole entire map right here, and on the bottom is the elevation of each part of the trip.
So how high it is, what you're going to be running into when you're running or hiking it. Okay, so we picked the Panther segment.
And part of the reason is because it's about 5 miles up and then 5 miles back, and that's about what we were thinking of doing.
So we're starting right here, and we're going to go up to here, 5 miles, and then run back.
And it looks like it says it's got a little bit of elevation right
so
here.
There's also a whole bunch of waterfalls up here, and everybody says they're awesome, but look at this. So we're going to, after we're done with our run, we're going to drive on up. We got some sandwiches from the Steamboat Inn, and we're going to go up and do some more hiking and go up and find these waterfalls and see what they're all about. So hopefully that's what we're going to show you today.
They have a great pamphlets on all of these. So each one, they've got a whole system of the falls. Then we've got the one with the North Umpqua Trail. So very easy to navigate and find.
So we ran about 5 miles one way to Panther Creek, and beautiful terrain. You're going up and down, some of the most beautiful trail run I've ever seen. And you're just in mountains, and you've got rock cliffs next to you. And you've got some beautiful vistas, and you're along the river mostly the whole way through. So there she is, the North Umpqua River right behind us. Beautiful, beautiful run. If you're a runner, if you like trail running, this is the place to be. So with the holiday season approaching, some things we can all remember. This too will pass. The holiday named Christmas is not about toys and presents and all the things that we as a culture tend to make it into. It's really about taking care of one another and serving each other. So, the best thing I think you can do to make this a better season is cut back, simplify. You don't have to do it all. Your party doesn't have to be picture perfect. You don't have to put up everything everybody else is doing. You can take it easy, enjoy yourself, enjoy your family and your friends, and you don't have to buy everybody something. Come on. That's really not what this is supposed to be all about. At least I don't think so. So from my family to yours, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate. Just go do it simply. We'll see you next month.
Nestled in a canyon where the mighty North Umpqua River flows, there is a pond. Near the pond, a log home. A log home built by Frank and Jeannie Moore.
A friend of mine said, okay, you're retiring, why don't you build a log house? And romantic that I was, I thought, oh, why not?
We met the Moores 23 years ago while working at KEZI TV. How our paths crossed, I do not remember, but the Moores I will never forget. In those days, we produced a segment about people. Oh, how I love telling their stories.
A quiet man who measures his life in friendships.
I still do.
and took a chainsaw and ripped every log flat on top.
The log home Frank said he'd never finish, he probably never will. At age 92 and Jeannie close behind at 89, finishing the house is a low priority.
I fell in love with a man when I was first date with him. I was 15 years old, and there's just never ever been another man in my life.
Jeannie still hangs the clothes out to dry on a line inside or outside, depending on the weather. Frank still has a fish pond stocked with trout.
We got everything we need, each other.
The pair married 70 years ago.
I was shy, and he just doesn't live in a shy world. So I learned, I just exposed to a lot of people and learned how to be a little more open. So I'm pretty open now, anyway.
What stress we've had, we were able to ride over the top of it. And, well, both of us, not just me, but both of us. And a lot of that was because of what we gave and received from each other.
Frank lost some hair since the first story we did. Mine lost its color. But here we are, two guys reconnecting as if time had no say and memories of a day still hang in the air. Frank still fishes and teaches others the art of casting and renewing old friendships.
Talking about politics, and I knew you did that one time, and I was hoping something would happen. And they're not there for the people. A lot of them start out that way, but they wind up, again, getting into themselves. You know, they become, what's in it for me, instead of what can I do for the people.
Frank worked for governors and new movie stars and writers. And since our story, Frank's story, appears on Oregon Public Broadcasting and even in a new documentary about he and Jeannie's life called Mending the Line.
And all 3,000 people in the auditorium, in the Keller Auditorium in Portland, erupted. 10-minute standing ovation. And there were 8 million, I think 8 million people or something like that watching on what Twitter or something, I don't know. And if there were so many hits, it knocked it off the air. So that was really, really something, I'll tell you.
Spending time with Frank, you may not remember everything he says.
I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for what I have received.
Or how he casts a line.
Yeah, I'll lay down. No, that's right, get up there. Let me do it. You just follow me this time.
But what you do remember is how he makes you feel.
Live for other people as well as yourself.
Frank and Jeannie Moore connect with people.
But things that happen in your life that you think are the end of the world, you just go on. You see what new direction you find in it.
Jeannie gives me so much. She does. She just gives me so much joy, and I don't know. My life is so fulfilled.
Love is more than a word to the Moores. It's an action, and they don't preach it. Instead, they live it.
Yep, and God, life can be good. Life can be good if you let it. So many of us in life seem like we strive too hard, and when we do, sometime we destroy the very thing that we should be receiving in life. And whether it be in marriage or work or anything else, you do the best you can without killing yourself.
I will probably never get to tell another story about Frank and Jeannie Moore, even though Frank says he will live to 110.
What would you want to do tomorrow? And I had used just one word: live.
Frank understands he's not the author of his life, and endings are in the hands of someone mightier than he.
I like a simple life, I'll put it that way. I like a simple life. And out of that simple life, one of the greatest gifts is, as I said earlier, is the gift of friendship.
Frank is the first guy to tell you his life isn't perfect, but he's lived a perfectly amazing life.
I don't know why I've been so blessed, but I really have been, with a wonderful wife and family, and I've received so many honors that I in my judgment, I haven't deserved.
He's lived a full life and done it well. The real gift to his story is to the writer who his story gets to tell.
What we offer is a source of news that can be trusted. It's in an era where everybody's trying to be the first to get the news out. We actually do some research and talk to the sources and get the story and all the details behind the story.
Diameter redwood, so it's made out of redwood. It's a pipeline. Huh. This next story is a new client on our Get Real with Rick Dancer show on Facebook Live. It's Emerald TMS, and this is a new treatment. It's been around about 10 years, but new to Eugene, FDA approved, for people with acute depression. I'm not going to tell you any more. I'm just going to let you watch the story to find out more about how it works. Hi guys, I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome. We are here to show you the latest technology in working with acutely depressed people in Lane County. This is Dr. Roger Hall, a radiologist since way back in the 1960s. He loves when I say that. But you've been doing radiation a long time, and you saw this new technique. This is not radiation, but you have a friend who was very depressed, and you started doing some research.
That's correct. And found the technology of transcranial magnetic stimulation. Saw the websites at Stanford, Mayo Clinic, and Harvard. Found that it's very effective for resistant depression. Is highly successful in a large percentage of patients, and thought that we should have this technology available in Lane County. So that's why it's here.
So talk to me about the brain. So we're going to show a normal brain and a brain that's depressed. Tell me what we're seeing.
What you're going to be seeing is we treat a portion of the left dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which is hypoactive in depression. And what that does is the circuits that normally connect from this area of the cortex to deeper areas of the brain, which control emotion, such as the amygdala and the hippocampus, those are hypoactive. And so what we try to do by this magnetic pulse is to stimulate the neural hormones that allow these connections to be remade and therefore connect to deeper parts of the brain, which control depression.
Nationwide and even here, we're seeing good results.
We're seeing very promising results. 35 to 40% patients have a remission. Another 30 to 35% have significant improvement. And by that I mean they can decrease the extent of their medications. It does not replace psychotherapy, but it is a new adjunct to acute and significant depression.
So how does this work? How do people qualify for this?
So this works primarily on people with major depressive disorder. We're looking for a severe level of dysfunction, people that have failed a number of medications as well as counseling.
And they have to, in order for insurance to pay, insurance will pay because this is FDA approved, but they have to have been on medications that aren't working. Well, as a psychiatrist, why does this excite you so much?
Well, it's an alternative to medications. Of course, I've prescribed medications for years, and there's just a certain percentage of people that just don't respond to medication.
And this is the electro, is that right? Magnet, and they put this normally on your head, but I want to see what it feels like, so I'm going to put my hand up here. Is that right?
Okay, right there.
Not touching, but just right.
Oh, just like that?
Right there. Okay, ready?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow.
And your finger might twitch too while it's doing that.
Okay.
You want to feel it again?
Yeah.
I think your middle finger. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's crazy. So it doesn't hurt. It's just like a little, I don't even want to say a sting, because it's not super sting. I mean, it's not like a bee sting or something like that, but it is a little weird.
This feels kind of like as if you had like a static shock.
Yeah.
What we just.
But it's
felt.
not even like a. Do it again. I want to hold my hand just a little bit closer.
Okay.
Now watch my fingers.
All right, ready?
Yeah. I'm not moving them. That's just doing it to it. That's crazy. All right, that's what it. I'm fine. I can do that. So with the holiday season approaching, some things we can all remember. This too will pass. The holiday named Christmas is not about toys and presents and all the things that we as a culture tend to make it into. It's really about taking care of one another and serving each other. So, the best thing I think you can do to make this a better season is cut back, simplify. You don't have to do it all. Your party doesn't have to be picture perfect. You don't have to put up everything everybody else is doing. You can take it easy, enjoy yourself, enjoy your family and your friends, and you don't have to buy everybody something. Come on. That's really not what this is supposed to be all about. At least I don't think so. So from my family to yours, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate. Just go do it simply.